So Venkat Sitaram, country lead education and healthcare vertical Dell Technologies for his industry perspective. And if the minister joins, we can have his address again. So Venkat, over to you. We welcome you.
Hey, thanks, Shavik. Thanks, APAC Network. I must take this opportunity to congratulate the amount of work that you're doing in putting this together. It's an absolute privilege today to be here as part of this third Global Education and Skill Conclave. I'm also wanting to wish the esteemed panelists and others who would join after me. It's a wonderful opportunity, and I wish that we have this 3 day event a successful event. Let me begin with sharing a quick presentation. Savik, I'll take your help in just assisting me if you can see my presentation. Okay, just let me
Yeah,
know.
sure, sure, sure.
Yeah, please let me know if you can see it.
Yeah, we can see it.
Wonderful. Okay, so uh, this is an inaugural session. So, what we will do is talk a little bit about how AI is empowering youth today, and not just youth, how it is going beyond human scale. When you think of digital campus and digital transformation, the first thing that will come to our mind is AI. And in fact, this is one of the fastest growing emerging technologies today. Simply put, when you look at, we call those five fastest emerging technologies easy to remember as A, B, C, D, E. Easy to remember, A, B, C, D, E. A is AI, no marks for guessing, goes with, blockchain, cloud, and thereon. I will not get into, of course, E is for edge and D is for deep learning and so on and so forth. So, with that being the context and the background, what I want to do in the next 15 minutes is to give a perspective on how this is fast emerging, what are we hearing from industries, and I'll give a perspective on education, and what is Dell doing, which will be the third section of this presentation. What is Dell doing to help customers deploy AI or consume AI, simply put? Last but not the least, beyond AI, what's next in AI? I think I'm sure while we look at current, we will also want to see what's the future, right? So I will also give that perspective. Um, Before I get started, it was wonderful to see Dr. Kalsi talk about the amount of work that NCBET is doing. I was super impressed with the last part of the presentation where he outlined the amount of work that's happening on skills. Now, and if you were, or for those who've given a very close attention to what he was saying the skill landscape is completely changing. New jobs are creating and so on and so forth. And what is the underlying cause for that change? It is these digital transformation or these emerging technologies. As you can see in this chart, today we are living in a world which is hyper connected, hyper distributed, with data being the center of everything. And that's why in this pictorial representation, you could see that data is represented as the North Star, and beneath the North Star is all the underlying emerging technologies. Let me pull this up to show you how this forms a complete ecosystem today. With tons and tons of data getting created, data management is in the forefront today, and we've seen with the prevalent of online learning or remote learning, how education institutions have leveraged cloud on-demand content and for teaching or be it for learning and so on and so forth, or including even conducting assessments, etc. Connecting all of this is the security layer
Uh,
and then augmentation.
Venkat, if you don't mind, can I just interrupt you for 2, 3 minutes because Honorable Minister has joined, I guess. So if you can have his address,
Absolutely,
and we can
absolutely, sir.
have Anand also on screen and Venkat also on screen. I think Honorable Minister has joined. Uh, Sorry to interrupt you, Venkat, but we'll come back to you, so don't mind. Yeah.
No, no,
I think
not at all.
Honorable Minister has joined. Actually, there's some network issues trying to join, but there are some problems with the connection. We can see his officials. Actually, he's in transit to meet Honorable CM, and in between, he's trying to connect. Let's see.
connection dropped again. So it.
Okay, I have been just been told that he's trying to again go to some other place and try to fix this, so we can continue with Venkat. He might be joining us in 15-20 minutes again. Let's wait for that. Over to you, Venkat. Sorry to interrupt you. Please carry on.
No problem. I'm again getting my screen up. Let me know if you can see it.
Yeah,
Yes, can you see this?
yeah, yeah. It has come. Yeah,
Yeah, so I straight away move on to the chart where I left from. I think these are five, six emerging technologies which are changing the way that we live and changing the way we kind of work or we do things. It's predominantly impacted all the industries today. But topic in for discussion today that we will focus is on AI. So let's keep our focus today on AI. I will straight away jump into this section, which talks about uh, what's AI. In this section, I would just like to just level set our understanding on AI. Um, when we talk to a lot of customers, most institutions, different people have different understanding, and in the process, we also have heard that it's not easy to deploy AI. It is fairly complex. Yes, it could be complex, but the way we decipher this and look at level setting, I think will help taking this forward. So, as you can see here in the pictorial representation, for the purpose of this slide, what I will do is, AI. I will use this as an umbrella term, and ML and DL, machine learning and deep learning, as subsets of AI. Now, as we all are aware, AI is not new to us. It's been there since long time. I think it connects back to 1950. The emergence started from there on. What has changed over a period of time is the ML and DL, which has become composites of AI. Um, by just starting with mimicking human behavior, that's how AI started into existence that we know. Now we are throwing a lot of data at AI, building statistical models, and creating algorithms for intelligent decision making, for driving outcomes. And that's where machine learning and deep learning today have taken prominence in the world of AI or in the world of deploying AI, etc. So this is a very simple understanding, and we've seen this in many situations where lack of clarity of this understanding has created a lot of challenges. Now, the question therefore comes, having understood AI, is why AI? Um, we all know that it makes a huge difference um, ever since pandemic over the last 18 months, where things have completely changed. Learning is happening from home, teaching is happening remotely, etc. Work is getting done remotely. It's completely changed the landscape, right? And if you look at in the context of education, I think these are clear examples where the most emerging technologies like AI have changed the landscape, and it's making a difference to all the industries, not just but education. One of the leaders, global leaders and scientists around the world, prominent around the world, Andrew perfectly says that it's very difficult to imagine an industry which hasn't seen an impact of AI. Almost every industry is benefiting from AI. What are those benefits? Be it cost savings, be it customer experience, be it improved business processes, tighter integrations, TCO, or improving revenues, and so on and so forth. I mean, the list is enormous, and I can keep go on and go on with the benefits that AI brings in. Now, having known and seen these benefits over at least in the last 18, 20 months, we should also know that it also brings its own set of challenges. It's not like one set of approach that fits, deployment of AI. It brings in a set of its challenges, and this is what predominantly that we are hearing when we talk to our customers. Of course, this is not an exhaustive list. It's kind of prevalent in majority of the interactions that we've heard, and that's what I wanted to share again in the session. It simply put starts with the skills. We had a session by Dr. Kalsi which talked about enhancing skills around these areas, what NCVT is doing around building skills around AI and so on and so forth. That becomes a important area and a fundamental challenge today in most of the organizations or institutions. Surrounded by that, the legacy data architecture, the data architecture doesn't scale. Data in itself is sitting in silos, so they're finding ways and means of integrating all of this because it's important. If data is sitting in silos, you don't get a power of enabling a user to leverage a combined decision out of discrete data sets that are sitting there. Therefore, integration becomes an important point. Of course, connecting, and I talked about the distributed world that we are living in thanks to the internet. Uh, Privacy and security concerns do arise because people are worried about how do I manage that. Last but not least, how do I get my processes aligned? Now, beat it all, we also hear about a lot of bias and ethics challenges that customers are facing while deploying this. So, if I were to give an example of how things have transformed or changed. Let me pick an example like an electricity. How electricity has come and transformed and changed every human aspects, every human life. Likewise, AI today we see is changing every aspect. Now comes, I think this leads to a point where it is important for me to share why Dell. With these set of challenges, it becomes important to engage with a partner who understands this and who can help making AI easy for our customers. We talked about benefits of AI, we talked about understanding of AI, we talked about challenges that brings in. Now, if there was somebody who can put all of this together, that's where I see Dell making a lot of difference today. And in this section, I will also talk about what are we doing internally in embracing AI. So I'll give you that perspective. So simply put, we are just making AI easy, making it easy for production by building ready configurations by optimizing the efficiency of these configurations. So we are making it affordable. Last but not the least, with our proven services, we are making AI easy to consume for most of the customers. I would want to relate this to the strategy that we adopt. Our strategy broadly is designed around three areas. We call it AI across and in three phases, which is AI in, AI on, and AI for. Now, what these are, let me talk to you in all three of them quickly in a minute. When we look at AI in, we are talking about AI in our products, AI on our solutions, and AI for our business operations. So think about deploying AI in people, in process, in technology, all of these aspects. So this is what we are also doing within our own businesses, and in the context, I will tell you what's that we are doing internally to help our customers. So to begin with, AI in, we are embedding AI in a lot of our products by default. What this is allowing is it is by itself making the product most intelligent, smarter, and help making some of those real-time decisions fast and quick. Standard task like deployment, plug and play is getting completely eliminated. And what you can see here is our stack of our product lines, including Cloud IQ, which is the analytics, the world's leading storage, PowerMax, and one of the most fastest storage with NVMe, PowerStore. All these are enabling real-time decision making easy with tons and tons of data sets that today um, that most of our customers are throwing at these infrastructure solutions. Precision Optimizer, a workstation application aware platform, is kind of helping the system intelligently make decision on where to throw more resources at when, depending on the application use case and so on and so forth. So these are the intelligence that we are bringing in by AI in. Second one, AI on. Now, this is where we understand the needs of AI deployment and we build that intelligence default and completely configure. Look at common workloads that you get to deploy on AI and keep them ready with our ready purpose built solutions. And as you can see here, this starts with advanced computer architecture, be it on modern analytics or be it smart edge solutions. We kind of cut across all of these ecosystems by helping build this ready, customized, and purpose built, easy to deploy. The third one, it is about for, right? Now here is where I want to give a context of how we are doing this within our own business, and probably it can help relate most of the educational institutions and the other policy apex decision makers body who are listening to this session. So first thing first, I think the use case of AI can be looked at several areas as I talked about increasing revenue or about cost savings, intelligent decisions, combining all the silos into a centralized environment for better customer experience, failure detection, fraud analysis. It goes on and so on and so forth. So we've put this in not just tactical areas but even in strategic decision making across our factory supply chain, in terms of forecasting, in terms of meeting delivery commitments in today's supply constrained environment, and so on and so forth. It's also helping our sales and marketing people to make predictive decisions on outcomes that we can create for our customers. Finally, the finances is also looking at how do we continually see improvements, how do we look at cost savings that can be repurposed for newer engineering investments that can come on. So it's become central to our DNA as part of the business, looking at improving customer experience, customer support. These are broad use cases that one can look at. And these learnings have come in the form of consulting services to help our customers deploy this in an environment. So simply put, what we do is help customers take a pragmatic approach. How do we do it? We look at broadly three scenarios here. First is about identifying use cases. Our consulting services comes in, helps customers to identify use cases where you want to drive transformational outcome. Second, our broadest portfolio spans from compute, because when you have tons and tons of data and you want to make the best use of AI, you need to throw more compute, more storage, more pipe, and put the security layer on top of it, right? Then only you get the best outcome. Now that would need intelligent, cutting edge systems which are modern, which are purpose built. I talked about AI ready. So we bring those integrations in hand, pre-designed, pre-integration at our factory levels. Last but not the least, look at how do you build your success models beyond. How can you scale from here and gain competitive edge? This is where our experts sit with customers and help go through the third phase. Now, having understood what we are doing, what's been our approach, and what would be the right approach in leveraging AI into our business for delivering exceptional outcomes, be it for student outcomes, learning outcomes, or for faculty teaching outcomes, or for institutional outcomes like digital campuses and transformation, and so on and so forth. It is also important to understand, this is the last leg of what I'm going to talk to you today, is what's next. Where are we today and what's next? I think this is something that keeps coming across our minds when we have this conversation. So what's next in AI? Simply put, I think we today are already here. It started with the next generation algorithms, and we've thrown accelerator infrastructure to it to get outcomes. Now it is moving to a layer of abstraction. How to make AI easy? That's the wave. I think we are at an inflection point of moving from the second wave to third wave of AI adoption here, where you can understand behavior, perceptions. You can learn from what is happening and then create an abstraction out of it and build intelligent outcomes. So that's the next wave that today we are moving in. And having learned this, having understood from a lot of customers, deployed it ourselves, leveraged these benefits, and doing this day in, day out, I'm super confident that our team and our experts can help you move to these journeys from be it from the second to third, or already if you're in the third, help you seamlessly move into this journey by bringing in the best of breed technology solutions that I talked about. So that brings me to conclusion of this session today. I hope you had a good listening to this, and we look forward to continue our conversations on AI in the coming days with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Venkat, Sitaram, country lead education and healthcare vertical Dell Technologies, for joining us in the inaugural and giving a perspective on how Dell is trying to make a difference to AI. And I like the last part when you said in your presentation that you're helping customers to have a pragmatic approach through AI. And in the beginning, you have also talked about how AI is becoming the game changer for various sectors across the board, and this is a reality. So we have to live with this reality, and we should leverage the power of AI to transform various sectors, including education. Uh, Obviously, thank you so much, Venkat.